Assalamualaikum. Good morning to everyone. I hope you can see my screen, and then if there's any technical issue, please put forward lah so I can rectify it. Kalau macam screen ke apa ke macam tadi. Okay, so yeah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So my pre-thesis 3 proposal is UTM Technopark Community and R&D Pavilion. So basically what I'm trying to do with this project is try to bring communities and the group of researchers together uh, by my building program and also through architecture lah. Okay, so let's go through it first. So first I'll go into the overview and then urban study, problem statement, and then so on lah. I'll go with this kind of flow lah. Alright, so first an overview from our urban studies that we did, that we found out that actually the technopark itself, the ICC area, they there is a community there, but it's in between two big communities that if we see from the morphology of it is the mainstay or the origin of this study area lah, which is we have the UTM campus first, and then slowly all the taman start to develop lah. So ICC is the one that will be the latest one lah, basically that type of community. So it's not well gel yet within the surrounding community itself. So it has a micro community where the part of all the researchers and small businesses operate inside. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to tackle, is try to bring is all this researchers community and try to link it together with the surrounding one. So first of all, I'll look into the development goals of each levels of authority lah within that site that has a stake on it. And then what I found out is that all of this, like the SDG, UTM, ICC, and also Iskandar region development, all they have similarities of what they wanted, which is to have a job creation and also promote entrepreneurship. UTM wanted some spin-off companies that they can try to accommodate the communities as well, and then they wanted to enhance the research and development (R&D) part of that site, and also want to have a commercialization of all their research purposes lah, all their research product and etc. So what I did was, like I said before, is to organize what happening inside the study areas and looking into the existing users. What are the existing users that have around the study area? So I look into the technovation part, and then there's a group of researchers, and then also there's a group of entrepreneurs that are both from the UTM punya side and also the MARA and TDC punya side. And also there's a big group of surrounding communities which are from the UTM communities, Taman University, Taman Sri Pula, and also Taman Flora. So in a summary, this is what it looks like. There's a group of researchers and entrepreneurs with a group of communities. So I wanted to blend this together lah. So this is just an overview of what I presented before for the master plan design. So the idea of the overall main aim of the master plan was to connect and uplift communities together. So what I'm trying to do is to specify what type of communities that I wanted to connect. So this is my proposed site, where it's located on the Sri Pulai nodes. It's located on the northern part of the Innovation Park, close to Dusun UTM, or also close to Taman Pulai Perdana, and also has a link back to the UTM back gate. Alright, so this is the urban study. So what I did was using Space Intact to identify what kind of problems in the overall system that I can find out lah, and it was urban sprawl. So basically the existing facilities for research purposes in UTM are located far from each other, and also it doesn't really connect in a system well enough, and this is proven through space impact analysis lah. And then also we did a survey on from our urban study that shows that actually ICC building is not recognizable. It has a lack of interaction lah, basically. So people, because there's a lack of interaction, there is a problem with legibility. People don't know actually where the innovation part is. And then this is true maybe through architecture, where I did an appraisal of the existing ICC building. There's some problems to it lah that I highlighted in this slide. So one of them is that the landscaping is not very well managed. There's lack of interactive spaces in the ground level, and then also there's a rigid space configuration where you have your aircon compressor on the corridor and whatnot. So it's not a good way of having a space lah where macam you won't spend time on the corridor much because there's there's an air compressor making noise apa semua, so you want to chit chat with your neighbours pun susah. So that kind of problem I wanted to address. So this is my problem statement from my pre-thesis. It's basically the ICC seems to be lacking in terms of utilizing and surrounding context to promote research and development of its end user, particularly in terms of commercial aspects. So the aim is to propose a community-oriented research and development building that is designed to connect research community with the surrounding community through design of public spaces, boulevard and park at the ground level. So this is the conceptual approach of it lah. So like I mentioned before, there's two types of big main community, which is the research and entrepreneur, and then the community, and then these are the benefit from each of the community. So the researcher can provide R&D, products and knowledge, while the communities can provide purchasing power, marketing and review. So there's a missing link in between these two communities, which is due to a social problem where the absence of social interaction between people. So there's no facilities, there's no architecture that accommodate this social interaction in terms of these two communities. So the solution is to have something in between from commercial, community and R&D, which is park, streets and boulevards that can promote accidental discovery. So this is basically a study of what they do in their daily life lah. Okay, so why is community important in research? Because kalau kita tengok the backbones of a research pun, this is what typically have a research in a research title, abstract, introduction and literature, etc. And a lot of this structure needs a community input, either in the form of participation, feedbacks of volunteer or numerator, etc. So it is important to incorporate communities within research as well. And also there's a lot of potential interaction will happen if we include communities and researchers together. This is an example. Students and academicians can have an interaction and also have an interaction with the academician and the industrial player. And from a space or architecture point, we can connect it through shared spaces such as laboratories and workshops. So this is a conceptual of the architectural approach that what I'm trying to accomplish, where I have a building where the commercial part will be located on one side, or most probably the front facade, where it can attract most of the communities and people into the site, where having the more research part of the programs on the back, but it can be more enhanced if I make it a double frontage, where one frontage towards the research and another frontage towards the commercial, and to make a space for the community to feel like they have a stake on it, is to create a space where a community placemaking space lah, and then this kind of space can tie and bring communities and retain it inside the site. So because they have purpose to be in that site also lah, not just coming into the commercial and then go out, and or go to the research base and go out to the site again. So they have an anchor space of that. So this is a blow up at the plaza level. So this is basically a translation from that architectural solution into my design scheme lah, basically. So I have a central plaza on the front as a main focus area like in this diagram, where a public space that designed to social gathering nodes, where most of the interaction between communities happen through static activities. So this is translated through the central plaza, and then the community placemaking spaces is translated through the community-based spaces that can help retain them and have activities for the community to use, such as community lounge and pastry, and also a place for them to rent a bicycle or e-scooter to use around the site or around the whole master plan itself lah. And then they can have gatherings or social activities at the main hall, etc. So that's how I translate that conceptual approach to architecture. And then this is how this perspective will look like in on that part of the building proposal. And then this is blow up at the research incubator, so where the commercial part will be at the front, so the SME, the small and medium businesses, where they can do their businesses on the front part of that. And then the research incubators will be located at the front, at the back of part of the site, but because it's a double frontage on the site, so both can have the benefit of having a frontage lah, basically. All right, so this is what the program will look like on level 1, but basically the same idea, same concept of what happening on the plaza level will be translated back on the level 1 also lah. So this is what the offices, the incubators will probably look like, and then this is what the laboratory will be, have the feeling of it lah. So you have a visual connection towards the outside where you can look out into the open park area, and also you have that in between spaces between the retails and also your laboratories in between there, at the garden in the middle. All right, so the program and target users. So because I wanted to have a structure where the community can included into the research and development works. So the program are split into 5, where the incubators and R&D are more focused, or more detailed focus towards research and development. The SME and commercial will be more focused on retail and commercial, while the town hall will be like the placemaking space where the community have a stake on it, where it can be spaces like event spaces, social spaces, and concept cafes, etc. And then the users, targeted user, are as such lah. So why I selected YTL as one of the main collaborators with UTM-ICC to be the main client for this project is because the potential of what YTL can offer in terms of R&D and also commercial aspect of it lah. And also what it can benefit also from UTM, such as UTM has their own R&D and department that can benefit from that. That you have the potential workforces from UTM you can bring into your own company. At the same time, UTM can benefit from a shared technological perspective from YTL. And also because YTL has a big portfolio for its company, there's a lot of subgroups that can help incorporate which for each of the programs that I wanted to emphasize in my project, such as YTL sustainability is it can help with the anchor community space and placemaking. YTL power, it can help with the opportunities of job and training center or operation centers such as like that. And then leading in technology, YTL has CS also to increase connectivity and marketing approach and etc. So this is how the workflow, how I built up my building program lah, basically. So I have summarized the issue that I look into before, like the urban sprawl, segregation, etc. And then how I use architecture approach to tackle this issue, and how it is translated into building programs and activities to primary spaces. So this is a precedent studies of what type of program that I can fit into my town hall, which is the town hall is a program where placemaking will happen lah, basically. So one of the precedent study to make that town hall is Seto Depot. So it's a place making space where they have a large open space and also has a lot of social space with unique F&B and concept lah like that. So this type of program can attract people to stay inside the site lah, the building program. Okay, and then
Okay, you have
okay, 5 more minutes. All right, thanks. This is the blow up of what it will look like lah on the B1 level on, and then this is the perspective. And then another program that I wanted to highlight in the town hall is through what kind of program that I can include community and research together. So to do to accomplish this is to look into what type of same activities that can happen together for both, that the community and researchers can do together. So surveillance lah is the main connection, main activities that both things can both side of the community have in common, such as if researchers do surveillance, it's for observation, for data collection and on-site study, while for the community what they wanted to do for surveillance is security purposes lah, like rukun tetangga and rakan kop. So why not have these kind of spaces included in the town hall to benefit both the researchers and the communities together. And also I'm looking at the urban appraisal of what happening around the site, which is particularly guard houses. So what is lacking? So I wanted, basically what this study I wanted to express is that if I do a R&D place for the community, they need a subject matter. They need a subject to focus on what kind of research that both the communities and researchers can benefit together. So one of them is what type of spaces for surveillance that they can put into around the site and develop inside the site. So one of that, so I come to a conclusion that maybe a research subject of a solar power charging port can benefit the both communities and research communities together. And then this kind of examples of solar power seating can be developed inside the site through the program, like you said, you can see on the plaza level plan where they have a solar port operation office, solar dispensary where they can sewa all the solar ports, and then also have the rakan corp launch and operations offices, that how it comes about lah. And then also perspective of where the operation happens, and then you have a solar port workshop to do maintenance of the solar ports, etc. Is very accessible towards the street level. And then this is the design approach of what architecture concept that I translated into the site lah, basically. And then site synthesis, how I approach each of the site, and then how it works in the system lah, with the adjacent building and the site plan. It's just some views from the park towards the upper building. And then this is a study of how to accommodate the elevation to have a same feeling of around the site into the building also. So I did a study on the elevation, towards how it feels walking along the neighborhood semua. And then that's how I got the idea for the elevation. And then this is how it connects directly with the community itself, having a more approachable street level boulevard before coming into the space. This is how the massing will happen. And okay, so basically this is the final part of my presentation. Basically how I incorporate space syntax, basically using visual graph analysis into my building design. So first of all is trying to have a comparison or simple massing of each of my building proposal, and look into what benefit most that I can use now from my side. So I know that if I do a building form that's parallel to the site, it has a less visual integration value compared to if I slant or tilt my building facade. And then after I got the final building facade, I do another simulation where to get visual integration, point first moment, and also gate count. And then this is how I apply towards my design lah. So using point first movement to locate the central plaza, using visual step depth to accommodate the plaza design, where is it headed and where the focus will be, using visual integration to locate more private spaces or semi-private spaces for common areas, etc., using step depth again to accommodate the feel and also direction of that spaces, using gate counts to accommodate where I should put my solar panels to have more interaction with the communities. You're walking along the boulevard,